Welcome to Inspired by JimmyL, a podcast that inspires freedom through authenticity. Take our shows and use them, honey. Use them to listen to your gut, your intuition, and allow them to give you the courage to be free in every area of your life. We believe that success and happiness is a personal thing. Now redefine it on your terms. This show is designed to give you practical tips from realistic people who have decided to no longer keep up with the Joneses. Now, your intuition is your roadmap, but this show is here to give you more courage to simply listen. And to add, we are not pleading for ratings and reviews, but please be sure to subscribe and share every single show if you are inspired. I'm your host, Jimmy Warr Mize. Now let's get into the show.
Okay, so wait a second. So what if I have the consciousness, I have the desire to move forward. I'm taking responsibility for where I am at this exact moment. But what if I'm still having a roadblock because like I built this lifestyle. Like I'm comfortable in the lifestyle that I've built, and I fear that if I go into a new path that would probably even fulfill me a little bit more, I don't want to let go of the old one. Like, how do you do that?
yeah. You want to go there, but never leave from here, right?
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah.
I see it every day.
Hey, hi. Hey. So I'm gonna take a couple of minutes to actually answer this question because I've got to tell you a story, right? And it has happened before, right? There's a people out there that find themselves in a positions or career paths, and they grind it day in, day out because they achieve certain level of pay, certain level of comfort, certain level of even reputation within the organization. But they grind it, they hate it. Doesn't provide them the passion. It's just not what they works. They don't get energized in the morning before they go to work. They don't feel like I'm gonna go and win today. That's one thing.
Like burnout.
I'm sorry.
Like burnout.
Yeah, almost like a burnout. Yeah. They do that because they have maybe family that needs their support and that kind of stuff, right? And the second thing is there's also a group of people out there, and this is unfortunate, and I hate to turn this show into this, but I gotta tell you, there's a number of people out there that even compromising their personal values in order to stay in the career paths. They are just not that just support it doesn't complement their personal values, and they day in day out compromising that for some sort of a short gain. I would consider a short gain even if it's 10 years from now. And then sooner or later, all these people find themselves in a what they call aha moment, right? They find themselves in a position where they say, okay, I can't do this. I cannot, sacrifice my family, my relationship. I cannot sacrifice my personal belief, my faith, whatever it may be that they're sacrificing. And next thing you know, they make drastic change, right? So the story I was going to tell you is that this is a true story. Actually, it's been published a few times in some case studies when it comes to professional development. But there's a number of people out there that reach even of the C-suite level, right? So CEOs, COOs, that kind of stuff. And there's one particular guy. I mean, he was as by traditional means as successful as he can be, right? But his life partner was already third one, fourth one, right? He couldn't keep a relationship going, right? He was constantly on the road, constantly away from the family, constantly, his kids never even got close to reaching their full potential and achieving their objectives because, while he was a CEO, they didn't really get any kind of coaching themselves. They didn't get any guidance. And then ultimately what happened to him, the kids were very much grown, like I say, his family was, I wouldn't say falling apart. They were together, but it's third or fourth version of it. And then in a flight to a business trip, he just had an aha moment, and he pivoted 180 degrees. He didn't even finish the business trip. He just got a first flight, flew back, quit the job, and became a pastor, right? And so.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know this is, I'm purposely bringing an example where it kind of goes completely from one extreme to another.
I was going to say that is a drastic change.
That is, but here's the deal. People wait too long to find out what their passion is, what their personal values are, and they trade that for so long, and maybe they achieve certain lifestyle, like you mentioned, but then they hit a wall. They realize, I can't do this anymore. I cannot sacrifice my personal beliefs, my values for another dollar. So I'm going to make a decision. So in my book, and in the process, if for folks, they may pick up the book and read it, on the
And which one was that? Which
the
book was
first
that?
one, it starts and ends with EIDP, right? On the page, I'm going to quote a page on 28, right? I have a flow chart, right? And then in that flow chart, I try to depict, there's a certain steps that needs to happen, that you want to go from wanting to have a EIDP to actually having it. And one of the main steps, the most important things is do this research, right? Do on the step number 3, make sure you do the research. Make sure you understand the career path you picked for yourself does not compromise your values. It supports your passion. It complements your strengths, so that when you actually wake up in the morning, first of all, you're going to do the best you can be. You're going to grow. You're going to succeed. And in the meantime, you're not going to trade something that's valuable to you. You're not going to trade something that's important to you. And so for that reason, if you have people like that, and when you work with people like that, those are people that are leaders. They may not even have a people that report to them. They are leaders. They are happy. Their life is in sync. They are outgoing. They want to win. They're passionate, and those people tend to be a gravitational pulse for a bunch of other people, and then they became natural leaders. And to me, that is definitely a way to succeed in both career and personal life.
Yes, but I am so glad you brought that up. Not even just that example, but I'm so glad you broke it down like that, and being able to transition from where you are now and wanting or having the desire to create a plan to actually creating one. And it's so funny that you brought it up, because I'm kind of living that right now. I've been in the logistics industry for 8 years. And the last couple of years, I've been the brand ambassador for a $1 billion company. And the more that I'm doing for this company, the more I'm starting to realize that this is probably not where I belong. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you brought up passion, and not passion, but you have a healthier life, and you typically shine. And so what has occurred to me is my personal life is beautiful. It's amazing. I started my own personal positivity journey a few years ago, and my life just kind of it took off. In my marriage, it took off. My family life, it took off in a positive direction. And so when I was able to kind of dissect what was going on, I discovered that my personality is what got me to where I am professionally. So it's kind of almost like I've been a jack of all trades, and just like our conversation, and just like you're kind of speaking about this interview style and how free flowing it really is. It's really relaxed, and it's who I am. And so how do you, as a person, me, as a person that's kind of a jack of all trades, you have an amazing personality, and your personality shines in anything that you do. How can you still be able to recognize that where you are may not necessarily be your highest potential?
Oh yeah. Okay. So let me first tell you one. I'm taking actually notes, man. My friend, it's the fact that you started the positivity journal a couple of years ago, and that changed your life. I'm actually
Yes.
I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna share with others as well. If that works, man, I want to try it. I want to share with others as well. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
So I'll make sure that the word goes around, that works. But I would,
And honestly, with the positivity, I don't mean to interrupt, but just really with the positivity, it wasn't more so of a journal. It was more so of a conscious decision that I'm cutting negative things out of my life. And I mean, of course, I can't get rid of everything negative, but I made a conscious decision to start to be pretty much a little bit more optimistic. And so it kind of relieved a pressure on me. And so I started to see the world drastically differently drastically differently. Like I appreciate the rain and what it has done to the heat and what it does to the animals. You know what I mean? And so I'm starting to, and I hate to sound all woo-woo, but I started to see beauty, and I've made a conscious decision to start to actively see the beauty.
That is awesome. That is really, really. So you're talking about what I was saying earlier in terms of the leadership, and you say if more people leaders did that, their life will be better for everybody in the corporate world. I would tell you this: in a personal side, if more people did what you're doing, probably the people's personal life will be far better. We will have probably far less road rages on our Highway 240 around town, right? Yeah, no, I'll tell you, yeah, it's like you gotta watch out.
I 100% agree with you.
But
the reason of this podcast.
Yeah, by the way, anybody that listens to this, I love Memphis. We have your own troubles, but I'll tell you, we also have its own. We have a lot of positive things, and I hope people start seeing more of that positive things versus what some of the negative things.
100%. Yes, yeah. I'm in agreement.
Yeah, but on the side, if personal, you mentioned how you really truly capture that personality and your strength in order to be able to identify if you're on the right track. Number one, and the second thing is that you are not already at your full potential, or that you already reached a level that you probably cannot go any further. Going back to the same flowchart, going back to on the same process steps, I encourage my readers, and I encourage people to listen to and even this conversation, whoever reads it or listens in the future and reads my books in the future, I encourage them, highly encourage them to start with what I call end in mind. There's nothing wrong with dreaming about whatever you want to become, whatever direction you want to go. The only thing is I'm encouraging people, don't think in terms of a title. Right? Don't think about I want to become a CEO. Don't think about I want to become a vice president. Don't think about I want to be like a title-wise. Think about in a sense, I want to be a people leader. I want to develop others. I want to develop myself. I want to be the one that people want to follow, right? For example, or I'm going to be a project manager. I'm going to go into the project areas where I want to be, like you say, jack of all trades. I don't want to be, kind of one expert on one thing. I want to be a little bit of an expert in everything. But then also I want to develop in a way that people want to work with me. They want to be part of my project, either the personal side or a social or community or a work. And, there's a whole set of people that can go to their career path. And again, the title manager, project manager, program director, VP, all that will come if you indeed find yourself that's a path that your personality, your strengths are most compatible with, and they don't compromise your values. Then the titles will come, the money will come.
Okay, now this clip actually left us with several different tips that we can use, several practical things that we can use right here, right now. And I don't necessarily suggest using every last one of them, but you can definitely choose at least one. And that one can actually put you on the correct path that you desire to be on, okay? And one thing that I definitely want you to grasp from this clip is get clear. Get clear on whatever thing that is that you desire. Get clear on your future goals. Please, by all means, clear out all the negative talk, all of the noise that is around you. Get extremely clear about what you desire. Don't fall in love with the title, because the title can mean different things for different people. Fall in love with what you desire. What do you see yourself actually doing? And once you can see that, feel that energy, the particular title or the particular outcome will come. But you have to get clear on what it is that you want. Whew, I love that one. Anyway, at the end of the day, do everything that you desire. Make sure you're doing it for you and not to keep up with someone else. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. And at the end of the day, your neighbor doesn't necessarily know what they're doing either. So let's not try to keep up with them. Please do it for you. Do it for your future. I love you guys as always, and I'll see you guys first thing in the morning on Instagram.